Good morning again on this beautiful Sunday morning. I'm predicting beautiful because beautiful's on my mind this week. And as you listen to the wonderful speaker that we're going to have, Michele Avanti, you will understand why beautiful is on my mind, regardless of whether it's raining or sunlight. I'm Lilene Fifield, your service coordinator, and you are welcomed again to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist congregation. The sermon, as you know, is being done on Zoom and will be shown or available before Sunday. And then we do an after Zoom conversation, and that starts at 11:15 again on Zoom. Check in, 11:15, conversation starts at 11:30. So the service itself can be watched before then. Saturday night, the Zoom goes up, and all you need to watch it is to Google the video conferencing tool and download the app. Now, we've been saying this for weeks, and I'm about to change the script. Here's where we are now. I am Lilene Fifield, your service leader for today. I also use Zoom, and I'm making an offer. If you will call me and tell me you're not attending any of the AEO events or any of the wonderful service discussions that Michael holds after Sunday services, I will lead you through getting on Zoom, telephone to telephone, as you work through your computer in order to join us. We're probably going to do this for another couple of months, and I miss you. I miss most of you. I miss all of you I haven't seen. So please, take up that offer. There are several of us who are willing to help you. So you're not going to overwork me, but we want you to join our chats. We want you to join our AEOs, and we certainly want to see you after Sunday morning service. We've been reading to you each week how to do that, and it's probably not necessary to read it to you again this week, because if you're not on already, you're going to call me and I'm going to help. In addition, however, to the services and the discussions that are available, there's also meditations, wonderful meditations from Donna that if you're having a good day or a bad day, you might want to listen to. And these are all on YouTube. And YouTube is easy to get to, as are our services, because in the UmQuest, there is a link. A link is that long list of little numbers that looks very foreign, but all you have to do is click on it. And in addition to that, we even have buttons in the newsletter and buttons on Facebook that you could click on that would take you into a lot of the AEOs and the after-service discussions that are available on Zoom. So call me, okay? Have we got that down? Wonderful. I'm going to be so happy to hear from you. And let me finish this little part of our welcome by thanking Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swangham, and also Kirsty Bowman, our office person, because without the three of them, we wouldn't have these links, and we wouldn't have these buttons, and we certainly would not have these beautiful services. So a big shout out and thank you to all of them. At this time in our service, we're going to open the service by lighting our beautiful chalice. Our chalice lighting words for today are entitled Connected Through the Web of Life and by Jennifer Grayson. They are, we light this chalice, symbol of our purpose to bring love and justice into the world. We light this chalice knowing our congregation as a church is dispersed across communities and not bound by walls, but we know we are connected to each other through the web of life. Opening words for today are similar to the lighting. The title is Feel That, the author, Gwen Matthews. Feel that. Each breath, each inhale, each exhale. We are living, breathing, connected. We are the whole, complete selves that we were born to be. Feel that in your bones, in your muscles, in your heart, and in your blood. Feel that. The you who was born for this time, this place, this moment. Feel that. Feel, too, the struggle, the worry, the pain, the loss, the grief. It is still you. You are still whole, complete, beautiful, extraordinary. Feel all that. Continuing with the same theme that we've been having so far in our service, the feeling, the calm, let us turn inward now to a breathing moment or two of meditation, which will be followed by some sweet sounds from Michael. Let us turn inward now and feel the rhythm of the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Slow, deep breaths in and out. Find the peace just being with the flow of the breath. Letting go of yesterday, letting go of tomorrow. Just being with the breath. Feel the restorative power of the peace of this moment. Breathe into your heart. Breathe in and out. Breathe into love. Feel the rhythm of love with each breath, with your heart. It is with considerable pleasure that I now get to introduce our sermon presenter for today, Michele Avanti. Michele brings us so much talent and so much knowledge. You know, she's a metaphysician. She's a certified astrology professor. She's an astrologer. She's a minister. She's an author. She's a professional artist. She's taught metaphysics. She's published. She's been on thousands of radio shows, if you can imagine that, and managed to, along the way, collect 2 degrees in fine arts and photography illustration. If you have never visited her website, I would encourage you to do so. There's some of the most beautiful work there I have ever seen. Michelle's also been honored by her peers for several awards that she's won for juvenile fiction. So if there are children, you might want to check out Grihi, The Journey of 5, and a few other things. Michele lives in Southern Oregon, about a block and a half from me, with her husband, 4 dogs, 2 cats, and a whole lot of fish. She's excited to be with us today, and we welcome her now.
So I can just start? Well, I want to say welcome. This is our first time breaking ground here on Facebook, and I'm here at the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. It's a wonderful group of souls who come together with love and care, and I invite anyone and everyone, when we open up again to the public after this virus experience is over, to please come visit us. But in the meantime, here we are live on Facebook, and I'm Michele Avanti. If you don't know who I am, I'm a metaphysical minister, and I've been teaching metaphysics since 1972. So I'm old. I'm one of your dinosaurs. At any rate, or maybe we can call us dragons now instead of dinosaurs. Much more attractive. So today we're going to be talking about something that I think is really an experience we all have in life. And the title of this sermon is Between a Rock and a Hard Place, The Tightrope to Compassion. How many times in life have you felt like you were between a rock and a hard place? A situation arises and every option you consider does not appear to have a good outcome. If you say something to this person, another person you love gets upset, or vice versa. Or perhaps it is a subject matter that seems filled with rocks. Speak about this, advocate for that, express a dream or desire, and you are certain you are putting something you love in the guillotine. I know this has happened to me many times in my life, even yesterday. So how do you handle these experiences with grace? Do you avoid speaking so you can keep the peace? Do you stand there listening, fuming inside, but saying not a word? Do you walk away entirely because you are certain there can be no good outcome? Or perhaps you have been silent too long and find yourself exploding, which only makes matters worse. The rocks become harder, and the tightrope to compassion and peace becomes so long you can't even imagine how you could get to the other side. When situations like this happen, you will most likely react with a pattern cemented from your childhood. Perhaps you adopted the same pattern you saw your mom or dad use. Some of us witness a parent lying to someone on the phone, maybe saying they cannot do something because they are not feeling good, or someone else is sick, or they need to do some other task. But you know, the real reason is they are planning to watch a movie, or game, or something else. If you ask why they lied, they tell you that lying is better than arguing, or being persuaded to do something they don't want to do. And besides, they say, it doesn't hurt anyone. It's just a tiny white lie. Wanting to please your parent, you may accept this as the way to treat similar situations. What you could not realize as a child is that this would begin building a wall that would not support you, but would crush you later in life. Let's take an example. The phone rings. You pick it up, and it's for your mom. You start to say, "She is," and your mom frantically signals to you to say that she's not home. So you say, "Mom's not here. I'll let her know you called." Then you hang up. This is a typical sequence that seems utterly unimportant. But inside, you don't feel good about it. This type of experience may happen many times in your childhood. You may come to accept it and begin to use it yourself when you don't want to talk to someone. If you go down this route, you may find yourself creating excuses for lots of things in your life. Doing this builds a wall that in time will trap you as you grow and your world becomes much more complicated. The very first Unitarian Universalist principle emphasizes the inherent worth and dignity of every person. When we recognize that every person is important, we'll choose to honor them. Petty lies do not honor anyone. They create separation and build disrespect for both parties. Though this seems like a very small wall, it's the foundation that one builds on, and after a few decades, will create automatic responses that impede understanding and intimacy. Later in life, you may find yourself troubled by your reactions when you need to tell your mom or your boss or friend or your spouse, "No, I don't want to do that," or "I don't like you doing this." As we grow, people we love change. New people come into our lives for many reasons, and though they may be aligned with us on some levels, they are not on others. This creates new issues, and we find ourselves wondering how to honestly speak to someone we love when we know their belief system or their morals or their view of the world are not aligned with ours. Or worse yet, we are uncertain of what their response might be because we have played the role we think they wanted us to play. A role that is not who we really are. It is at times, these times, that we actually stand between that rock and hard place. And we feel stressed to communicate or to speak our truth. But we need to realize that we have built these rock walls. And we are the only ones who can dissolve them, because they are made of our own fears. Fear that our words will cause someone we love to leave us. Fear that how we look will keep us from a place of importance or honor. Fear that our actions may be perceived as aggressive or lazy or too feminine or too masculine or too stupid or too whatever. Or even worse, fear of being physically harmed. Every step on the road to compassion begins with awareness. This is true for every advancement in consciousness. Awareness is the key. We must first become conscious of where we are and what we have been doing before we can make change. So if you want to tear down the wall and increase your joy, ask yourself, what do I fear? What would I do or say if I were not afraid? An honest examination of our fears begins the process of dissolving the rock wall. Let us take a look at one of the most common fears, fear of what someone will think of us. Ask yourself why. Why is this important to you? Doesn't this signal you are uncertain of your own value? That you may be performing to gain appreciation or recognition from another is actually an act. You've strayed from knowing you're valuable in simply being who you are. Again, we come back to that first principle. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. The key word being every. That includes you. If you are performing for praise, you've misplaced your own worth. In metaphysics, there is the understanding that, like our solar system, where the sun is in the center and the planets revolve around it, so too are each of us a solar system, our own little universe. We each are the sun in the center of our own solar system, and those we love, from family to friends, orbit around us. If we allow one of these planets to move into the center, we've given away our power, and our universe will eventually collapse. So when we allow someone else to be the center of our universe, we experience everything from sadness to depression to feeling completely lost and not sure of our direction in life. Now, there are many levels in our universes. There's the intimate family level, which includes our furry animal friends and may even include our home and personal property. Then there's the level of extended family and friends, and the level of career and challenges of colleagues, then finally acquaintances. At each level, we may find we have valued ourselves in different ways. At home, your immediate family may praise you, while at work, you may have a boss who pushes your buttons. And it is more comfortable to lie to him than tell the truth. Doing this is like eclipsing the sun in your universe. Yes, you will eventually have to speak. You may walk away or be fired, because by not speaking truth, you are collapsing your universe at that level. You know this innately, as you will find yourself loathing your job, your boss, and most importantly, yourself. Thus, we must always stay true to who we are, to what we feel is right for us. Our hearts have their own brain centers, separate from the brains in our heads. Most people don't think about that, but it's true. Metaphysically, we've always known this, for it's been written in every nation around the world over centuries. Follow your heart. But now, even science has proven the heart has its own brain. Well, the heart's brain always knows right from wrong. It knows truth from illusion. We must learn to be aware of it, to rely on it, and to listen to it. We must learn to be aware and allow ourselves to know what our heart is speaking to us. As soon as the mind rationalizes or reacts to a situation, often reenacting performances taught in childhood, we lose the path of self-love. Without self-love, we eventually find ourselves between a rock and a hard place. A place without balance, filled with frustration and fear. A place that becomes a tightrope to compassion. So before you take any action, you must listen to your heart. The physical world is a complicated place. Medically, the gamut from AMA practice to holistic and homeopathic practice can be universes apart. Religious and spiritual belief systems span from the natural cycles of nature to fundamentalist dogma that instills fear and prohibits taking action in some areas while requiring specific actions in others. The disparity between pathways has been the cause of war for centuries, and it continues to this day. When someone we love walks a different path, medically, or spiritually, or politically, or in some other way, and we need to assist them, we may feel that we are against the wall between a rock and a hard place. We may feel deeply challenged to take over, to direct, or to avoid, to hide, or to not participate because we do not want to activate conflict. So how can we show love and still feel good inside when we have so many deep-seated differences? How can we stay out of fear? The fear of a wrong choice we think they're making. How can we remain free of judging their choices? The heart knows love. It only knows love. Let me repeat that. The heart knows love. It only knows love. When we leave our mind and its fears at the door, and we let our heart's brain speak, we will find the only thing we can express is compassion. When we speak with love, we honor the individual in all the complexity of the personality they wear in this lifetime, and thus the journey they are choosing to take. We will not argue their choices, but lovingly honor them. If they ask for our opinion, we can speak from the heart and ask them if they are following what their heart is telling them. This is the encouragement we can give, and it will give them peace in their choices, and that will give us peace. Too often we struggle to find the right choice, the right direction, the right answer. Stop looking outside for it. You're using your mind, not your heart. The heart's brain is connected to the 360-degree view of your divine self. That limitless, powerful, amazing, and infinite soul that is you. Your mind is only a computer. It gives directions based on all the input from childhood and on. The mind software needs to be upgraded, just like your computer software. It needs to be checked for viruses. Mind viruses include how we're reacting to situations and people, as well as how we may be following the directives of others or performing for love and praise. This is where the words from an old song I used to sing back in the 70s, yes, I am one of those old people, can be very useful. When your brain is filling with words, before you begin to speak, take a deep breath and go through those words asking yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer to any of these is no, then latch onto your heart center. Take a breath through your heart and let it speak love without fear, love without limits, and love without control. When we do this, the rock and hard places dissolve. Balance ensues, and we find ourselves easily across the tightrope to a place of peace in the rainbow of compassion. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These three things go through my head before I speak my mind. May my soul go through these words of mine, making them true, making them necessary, making them kind. I hope this has been helpful for you. You will find here on Facebook that you have the opportunity to make comments, to ask questions, which we normally do here in our congregation, because your opinion is important. What this talk or sermon does should provoke thought inside of you. And we welcome what your questions are, what your opinions are, how these situations in your life have developed, and how, hopefully, we've been able to activate ways and techniques for you to resolve them.
Our closing words for today are by Laura Thompson, entitled Across the Distance. Across the distance, the light from within me shines, sending love to all. And across the distance, your light is fuel that warms me and others, and helps to keep my own light burning. Together, we keep the flame of community burning bright. And with that thought in mind, we encourage you to call each other. The chalice is extinguished with some words by Maddie Cervantes entitled, We Keep Its Light in Our Hearts. We extinguish this chalice, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and compassion, taking it outside to the world we live in until we can be together again.